What do you try to communicate to people as you do 8 to 10 events a day and go from top to bottom and left to right of the province? What do you want people to know about Jim Prentice?
Well, I think my story is the Alberta story. I was raised in Grand Cache, northern Alberta. I lived in Edmonton for a period of time. I worked in under the bins and coal mines to put myself through university, and I've been, the beneficiary of living in this incredible province of ours. And right now, the province needs leadership, and I hear that everywhere I go in Alberta. And I think what I'm speaking to is what Albertans want to hear, because I'm not from the government. Like, I'm not a cabinet minister. I'm not from the inside. And so the priorities I'm talking about are what I've heard from regular tax-paying Albertans for the last 4 years, because that's who I've been.
You mentioned leadership a moment ago, and I'm sure that's what you're hearing on the campaign trails, that people want a stronger leader and a more accountable leader and a more transparent leader. But in your mind, is that the number one issue facing the province?
Well, there are critical issues facing the province right now, and one of the reasons I think this leadership race is so important is that there are 3 or 4 issues on the table right now that will be resolved in the next 3 to 5 years that are going to determine what this place looks like for the next 50 years. And they relate, to the economy and whether we're going to diversify our economic base and our markets outside of North America, because that'll be critical to how affluent we're going to be. And the sort of economy that we're going to have. Important issues about our public finances and getting, running a fiscally conservative government that still is able to build the infrastructure that we need, because we have an incredible infrastructure deficit in this province. And also important issues about the kind of health care and public health care, public education, senior citizen care that we're going to have. And so, to answer your question point on, I think the biggest issue we're facing as a province right now is how to deal with this enormous infrastructure deficit we've got.
How did a province that's this affluent get in this much in debt? How did we get here?
Well, I think because of what we just talked about. I mean, our public finances, collapsed several years ago because we were selling our energy products into the U.S. at 70 cents on the dollar, and the deficit in government revenues is largely attributable to that. Having said that, we need to look at our finances, make sure that on a go-forward basis, they're presented to the public on a consolidated basis. Like, we can't have this disagreement about the accuracy of the numbers. Can't have that.
Yeah, and I find that slightly distracting that we're arguing about how to present the numbers when my concern would be what the numbers actually say.
Right.
And it does trouble me that, I can understand how we presented it, how that budget came down, and I can explain it. What I can't explain, as I say, is being this affluent of a province, and yet we're arguing about, capping debt.
Well, you're not alone, because I hear that every corner I go in the province.
Yeah.
People are saying, why are we in this circumstance? We're the most affluent jurisdiction in North America. Like, how do we get in this circumstance? But back to your original point, I don't think we ever got, in my perspective, again, as an outsider, I don't think we ever got to the point of having the discussion about the numbers, because we had such a disagreement about what the numbers were and whether they were accurate. Mm-hmm. And so we've got to fix that problem.
About 4 minutes ago, you used the word outsider to describe yourself. I'd like to know, I guess from a mechanical standpoint,
right.
Technically you are, but you come in with the support of a significant amount of the cabinet and a significant number of sitting MLAs.
Sure.
People would view this party, I think fairly, as broken, or at the very least needing some work. And when so many of the fundamental core of the party supports you, how does that allow you to still come in as an outsider?
Well, there's strength in that. I mean, in the sense that, if I come in with overwhelming support, then that's a pretty clear mandate to move forward in a different direction. And so I'm under no illusions about the work that needs to be done with the party. But, parties, it's like life. Parties go through different cycles. And the Progressive Conservative Party has reinvented itself repeatedly in the past, and it's now going through another reinvention. There is nobody at the table that's been there for 43 years. There's, we're talking about new people, a new generation of people, younger people, and a different perspective on where the province is going. And it's a party that has a deep history, that has successfully gone through those transitions and provided leadership in the province, and there's no reason why that can't happen again.